One. But before then, this is Shattered Light Ministries International. Hello everyone, my name is Delighta Kiyonju and I'm super excited to be here today. I have here with me Reverend David Odila Fapohunda, and
Thank
trust
you,
me,
Delight.
this episode is going to be an amazing one. But before then, this is Shattered Light Ministries International, this is Things of Africa, and this is Young Visionaries Fellowship. And our vision is to raise young people with the truth into visionaries, highflyers, and kingdom influencers for global and lasting impact. So we're going to be showing you a short clip right after this, and viewers' discretion is advised. So we'll be right back. Just stay with us.
This 11-year-old boy killed himself after believing his teenage girlfriend had died, allegedly falling victim to a cruel internet prank that nearly mimics the story of Romeo and Juliet. Tyson Benz from Michigan loved performing stunts in the water. But his family says it was a stunt on social media that caused his death. Police believe the boy hanged himself after his mother saw posts that indicated his 13-year-old girlfriend committed suicide when she had not. Prosecutors have not identified the suspect since she's a minor, but they have authorized charges against her for malicious use of a computer to commit a crime. A GoFundMe page was set up to raise money for the victim's family. Those in their community are sharing messages of love and support by posting photos online by making the letter T with their hands, symbolizing together for Tyson. Hands of hope against cyberbullying after a broken heart took this boy's life.
Wow, that's, my goodness, that's just, it is well. So when you see videos like that, sir, what comes to your mind? What first comes to your mind?
When you look at mental health with focus on depression tilting towards suicide, I guess one of the things that comes to your mind is it takes a person who has fought and they are just tired of fighting to resort to suicide. Against the backdrop of many people's thought, it takes strength to commit suicide. And that's why the whole idea of depression leading to suicide is crazy. Said it's crazy because it takes more strength to kill than to live.
True, that's true.
So
That's very
it means that every single person who died committing suicide still had so much strength left in them to do life, because you need more energy to decide to kill yourself. People think living is hard, dying is harder. So if they can do the harder, they can face the hard.
That's true.
So it means somewhere in between, the devil just plays on people's mind, and it brings them to a point where they think they don't deserve to live again. And like I always jokingly say, that if you catch a person who is about to commit suicide, don't counsel him first. Call some nice guy. If it's a lady, call some strong ladies. You need to give her the beating of her life. And the only reason why you're doing that is you want to make her realize, hey sis, what are you about to do? So you mean you want to rob our entire generation and that of our grandchildren and great-grandchildren, all of the goodness that God has put on your inside?
That's very
that
true.
you can't see it now doesn't mean it's not there.
That's true. True.
I'm sure you realize that right now in this studio there are over 1 billion organisms.
That's right.
Now there are macroorganisms, yourself, myself, and the recording crew, but there are other organisms that are as real as we are, but simply because we can't see them doesn't mean they don't exist.
That's right.
Simply because you can't see your strength, your future, your potential, your capacity, your purpose, your impact, your relevance, your beauty, your glory, your calling, your mandate, your assignment. You don't know that you scare the devil. Think about it this way. If the devil is not afraid of you, he won't want you out of the ring.
That's right. True.
Nobody attacks what is not a threat.
That's right.
The only reason why the devil does not just want you down but wants you dead is because you're a threat. I will always say, have you ever checked the movies or listened to the news? Whoosh, breaking news. 59 armed robbers were caught today attacking an uncompleted building. That news doesn't make sense. It's either that uncompleted building is a secret gold mine. Nobody attacks what is not valuable.
That's
The
true.
only reason why the devil pushes people to the brink of taking their lives, regardless of what method they use, is because the devil is afraid of all the goodness that is left in them.
That's
And
very,
it hurts.
very
It
true.
hurts. It's painful to see people make kids orphans, make husband widows,
Exactly.
make wives. Make husbands widowers, make wives widows. You know, just because they feel they have reached the end of themselves. It hurts.
So-
It hurts.
Wow, it's really, really hot, sincerely. So okay, let's just leave the side of people committing suicide now. There are people, I've seen teenagers and youth talk about depression all the time, like literally all the time. They are always depressed, and I'm like, I don't get, I don't understand the joy I have. Where do I get it from? Because I really don't understand why you just wake up one morning and you're like, oh, I'm depressed. And I know you've dealt with teenagers for a very long time now. So what are the things you think are the causes of depression in teenagers especially? Because it's okay if youth says that they are young adults, if they say they are depressed, we can say, oh, they've seen this, they've seen that. But come on, you're a teenager, you're just starting out your life. So why are you depressed? So what are the things you've seen over the years that makes you feel, okay, this still might be the cause of depression in a teenager?
All right, thank you, Delight, for that strategic question. I would like to answer it this way. First, a teenager, as we define in Teens of Africa, is a child transiting into adulthood with the hybrid needs, features, challenges, needs, expectations of an adult and a child. What it means is that if the dynamics of the expectation that is placed on adults is shifted to teenagers, you expect them to undo it even lesser than adults will. Unfortunately, largely in Africa or in most developing economies of the world, the reality of economic recession is telling on almost every sector, including the family. So you discover that the conventional, or what I would call the traditional structures that makes for provision, protection in the family is not there anymore. That is what gave rise to people saying, if a woman makes so much money than her husband, should she still do the conventional, the traditional roles of a wife, which is doing, the chores and all of that? If I make more money than you do and you spend more time at home than I do, shouldn't you take over the kitchen? You see, these are issues. Now, it didn't just stop with who now plays the dad, who plays the mom, because again, the society is falsely trying to redefine the roles of marriage by economic stance. Marriage is not first an economic institution, it is first a spiritual institution with social responsibilities and expression, because humans are not only spiritual beings, humans are also relational social beings. Having said that, in order, when you look down to what is happening in many homes, even both parents combined can't meet the financial needs of the family. So the reality of economic hardship has to be shared amongst all family members, including teenagers. I don't know if you observe, for instance, in Nigeria, that in the last 8 years, the numbers of teenagers involved in teenage prostitution has skyrocketed. And it's because, first, both parents are not there to give the right value system. Some parents are even the one mounting pressure. Aside, kids who just have issues with greed and all of that, they want to use iPhone 15 Pro Max and all of that. I mean, they're not thinking about utilities, they're thinking about luxury. If a young person is not given to the luxurious life, if you're thinking about efficiency, if you're thinking about productivity, I think that somewhat, so as I was saying, it's really a big deal. And I just spoke about the feminine gender. When you look at the masculine gender, parents now ask their kids, "Your betting, did it work?" I don't know the language. Hope the odds were not against you. Parents even invest into their sons to go bet, praying that the betting pays. You see, these are conventional family values that is eroding because of economic hardship. So by the time you look at this, I've counseled tons of teenagers whose headache is how they will pay their school fees.
Wow.
That's wrong. A child has no business thinking how he or she will pay her school fees. A child has no business thinking how she now will get money for sanitary pad. There are hundreds, thousands of teenagers that they cannot remember the last time their parents gave them money to buy pads. And menstruation does not tell you, "Oh, you don't have money for pad, we'll see next 2 weeks."
True.
"Oh, sorry, we'll skip till next 3 months. Or you can just beat me when you're ready."
True.
There are other needs that the female child, for instance, teenager, has, and they are concurrent there. They are not needs that you have because you just want to show or you want to be flamboyant. They are basic needs.
That's true.
So what do you think happens when these kids don't have parents who can meet these needs? Unfortunately, not just that some parents can't meet these needs, they equally lack emotional intelligence. There is a way you tell your kids, "So sorry, I really wish we have this kind of life. I really wish you have this level of comfort. We don't have it yet. Someday we will have it. Let's all keep hoping. Let's all keep praying. And I promise you that myself and your mom, we will give our best to ensure that you get the best out of life." You see that? But most parents, they are not there. They don't care. In fact, we have a case of what you call absentee parents.
That's true.
They are there but not there. They are alive but they are dead. When you have such parents, what do you expect? a teenage boy or girl comes back from school, or even a youth comes back from school, didn't do well, the first thing you get from an average African parent is they will tell all the story that is not true, how that they never had B in mathematics.
True.
Because we largely, have a culture in Africa that demonize failures. No, failure is not first a personality. It's an experience, it's an event. But beyond an event, you can make it a process and a raw material if you engage it well and you know the right factory to take it to. Not the factory of pity, self-pity. Not the factory of critics, but the factory of encouragement. The factory of sitting down and coming back to re-strategize. The factory of diligence. The factory of resilience. Those are the kind of factories you take failure to. The factory of self-examination. By the time you take failure to such factories, you're going to come back with gold. How many of us have failed in our own lives? Thank God we didn't probably have parents to tell us you can or you can't. Because there are moments that really, when you look at it, there are many of us that you learned to handle your moment of failure yourself.
That's true.
Either moral failure, spiritual failure, financial failures. But that's not how it's meant to be. Parents ought to be the first model, the first mentor, the first friend. There are teenage girls who had emotional, issues with bully, maybe body shaming and things like that, and they couldn't even tell their parents because their own mom have said, "Look at how you are. You don't look like me. You look like a pig." If your own mom says you look like a pig, then your classmate says you look like an elephant with the ptiasis, like the disease called elephantiasis. What do you expect? Unfortunately, the last person this girl tried to open up to took her virginity. So in her mind, she's alone in this world. But then she has a mom who is only interested in sending her on an errand. And God helps her. Even with that lopsided emotional instability, she must make sure she delivers the message as she was sent. These are some of the lopsided issues that young people are going through. Financial issues. The other side is that there are things that empties the underlying strength that God has created, in every human. So, for instance, a teenager who starts dating at quite an early age will have many issues with, oh, does it love me? Does it not love me no more? Oh, there's a new beautiful girl in class who is taking all the attention. All of those instability, exam is starting tomorrow. That was all she was thinking about. She knew the answer. Anxiety makes her to forget. Maybe it's even not exam. Maybe in class, stand up, answer this question. Then all of